Hello and welcome to my third week of development showcase for my top-down horror game. This week I have been working primarily on the AI, but I also did a little work to the UI minigame system I set up last week. Learned a lot about Unreal widgets and how those work, even in the first week of creating just that initial code minigame. I did have a bit of problems with one of these minigames, if I can remember. Nope, because this is the one I showcased last week. Yes, it was this one. My original draft of this minigame had some problems. There's a time limit, so I'll try and get through this so I can actually showcase a successful version. You get, I believe it's a few of these maths puzzles, and you can see the rules there. But like this one is 10, but there's no option for 10, so you only count the second digit of the number, which means it's 0. I think I'm probably going to fail this because I was too busy explaining. 14, so double digits 4. I'm hoping I get -1. 0 minus 5 would be -5, but it's just regular 5 because it cancels out. And as you can see there, it turns green on the timer, and if you fail the timer, it restarts, which I also added that timer system into this one here, so if you fail, somehow to figure that out in the like however long it fails. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll just showcase it here since I didn't showcase it on the other one. But I just had some initial problems with that, like, I guess maths puzzle one, which I can't really showcase again, I'd have to restart, but I could just restart actually. But yeah, I had some problems with my initial draft of this one. I don't know exactly what went wrong, but I know something went wrong on the maths side, and it didn't like going into double digits and stuff and negatives. It was just getting the completely wrong answers for some reason. I also had it set out in a different way. It was a lot less, I guess, optimistic. Not optimistic, optimized. Don't know how I got those two words muddled up. It was a lot less optimized because I had like here, as you can see, you know, I have several different questions. Rather than recycle the same one over and over, it would generate each individual one, and there was a bunch of code needed for that. And there was like 8 rows that you'd have to do each row, and it was just a bit of a hassle. So credits too for having problems with the maths and trying to revamp the system. It did create a more effective way of doing it that's less visually cluttered than what the original was. Although I do kind of miss that element of visual clutter because it would fit within like the universe this is set. Of course, you're working for like a dodgy company, so like their computer systems would be like stupid as hell. But as well as that, adding of course like the time to this original minigame, and creating this maths one here, I created the third one here, which is a simple reboot system, where you have 40 seconds to reboot the required stuff, which, you know, top one here is offline, so I'd reboot that button. Fifth one, so that's that one. That's, how am I missing the scroll bar? Oh, fair enough. Yeah, that's all online, so run a systems check, systems rebooted, have a nice day. Yeah, that, I will just restart to demonstrate again. Like the other two puzzles, is randomly generated every time the player does it. There'll be different systems offline. For example, you know, this time it's 1 and 2 that are down. 4's also down. Oh, there's a lot down this time. Because that's you, and that's you. All systems online, systems check, and it's successful. But yeah, so I created those two. It was very fun, enjoyable, and I learned a lot about widgets. But then, the main thing of the act this week, of course, was the AI, which, as I mentioned last week, and I think I might have already mentioned at the start, I was hoping to have them finished for week 3 here. But alas, figuring out how to do AI and, in fact, as you can actually see at the top there, all the different windows I've had open with different blueprints, and it was a lot to learn, and I still don't have the best of grasp of understanding. I have figured out behavior trees, of course the way those work with delegating tasks and etc. There's still a few things I don't fully understand, and sometimes stuff happens that I don't quite get why. But currently I have the AI set up to do several things, and there it seems to be no major outlying issues with any of those currently that I've found in my playtesting, which is good. What I currently have is probably enough for my enemy variants, which I was, of course, hoping to have done this week as well. I simply just need to make a new enemy variant that does the same thing as this one, but is invisible until it spots the player, and then it becomes visible, and it becomes quicker when it's visible and is slower when it's invisible. So it kind of roams around the map slowly, and then if it sees you, it will like uninvis and then just like run at you, and it's kind of like that sudden, not jump scare, but the sudden shock of like, oh, there's an enemy that's like kind of could have been right on top of you with the invis. Like you could walk into a room and it could be right there. You've got to react quick and snappy to it. So I can use the system I've already got for like it seeing the player and just add it so that when it sees it, there's a delay, it unvises, and then it chases you rather than immediately chases you like this current one does. And I also, as I will in fact demonstrate here by going into spectate, currently I have it just patrolling. In the level I have this blueprint, which do I have? Yeah, I do have the blueprint itself open still up there, as you can see, BP_AI_patrol_point, which I have 5 of those then, just a little like pattern like here, 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 and then like in the middle, that it's currently just looping around those 5 points, which my other enemy AI, which is the small one that will roam the vents, I will be using that system to tell it to just patrol that, roam, and then I would of course need to then just like, unlike this one, who if it spots you when it's roaming, it will chase you. I just need to tell it not to do that, because that then enemy, as I might have previously mentioned, or I might not have, I don't know, so I'll go over it again. It's more a passive threat. They don't hunt the player, they just roam the vents, and it's if you get too close they'll attack you, but like they're not going to chase after you. It's just they're protecting themselves if you get too close is all. But yeah, currently it's literally just going through that loop. If you don't assign this AI a loop, it will just like find a random spot on the map and just like go to that and then keep going to random spots, etc, etc. It also investigates noise, which I currently only have 2 sources of noise in, which is whenever you open a door, it makes a noise event, which gets the AI's attention if it's within range to hear it, and whenever the player lands or jumps, that makes noise that it homes in on, and it will go to where it heard the noise. So yeah, allow me to just get out of spectate here and possess the player. I'm going to have to be very careful here. I'll demonstrate sound. I was going to do it by the door, but if I activate the door, it'll probably immediately see me when it turns the corner. So instead, what I will do is turn the flashlight on. Wow, it's dark here. I will jump, land there. That would have made a noise there. And it should, yep, because it heard it. It is going over to where I just landed from that jump, and it's investigating that noise, as you can see here. And it's not found it, so it should go back to the loop now, because it's been assigned, of course, that loop to do so. He's not found anything when he went to investigate, so he's going back to what he's been told to do with go on that nice little almost 8-figure loop kind of thing I set up. Yeah. In fact, it's a bit finicky, I've found, with this whole AI debug menu. Sometimes it does work with me, sometimes it doesn't. Oh, my flashlight's flashing there. Is it going to work with me? Because I'm hoping, because there's a way I can show you its specific perception stuff that it's doing. I don't know if it wants to be kind and let me do that, though. Come on. Apparently not. Not today. It's not letting me showcase the actual, like, I guess, debug stuff where it'll show, like, a... Yeah, like, it shows, like, line traces and stuff of, like, oh, it heard a thing this over here. It's, like, yellow for sound, green for sight, white for prediction. Which reminds me, I can showcase that, because I've not actually shown it hunting the player. If it loses sight of the player, it will predict, based on where it last saw them heading, where they'll be a second after when it last saw them. So it will check out where it thinks you would have gone, rather than just losing sight of you and going, oh, you're sort of like wandering off. Brilliant if I could get that perception thing working, so then I could show you the debug for that, but it really doesn't want to work, and I'm conscious of this showcase getting a bit out of hand. So I'm just going to run over here. Yep, it's chasing me. It has seen me now. I'm going to go around this corner, lose sight. It's going to see me again as it comes around there, but oh, I got caught in the box, and I don't know why that lagged. I believe that's probably the nav mesh updating, actually, because those boxes are... Oh, it's found me as you know, interactable, and whenever that does, it has to rejig the nav mesh. So I think that's probably why that's lagging. Those won't be in my actual level, luckily, so that won't be a concern. But I do have to have a dynamic nav mesh, I found, because I did set it to only update like when there's a dynamic element that moves, but for some reason it wasn't registering whenever I'd open these doors. It wasn't actually updating the nav mesh for some reason. And I also don't know why it's... Actually, I know why it's doing that. It's probably because I'm also recording this, so that's probably just my PC performance chugging a bit, actually. So it doesn't usually do that, actually, when the door's open. But that's because of the dynamic nav mesh that I just mentioned. I'm trying to think how I can showcase losing it here. Because this unfortunate test environment is pretty open currently. But if I go around here, and then maybe, hopefully, head around this corner, and then hide around this. Nope, it found me. Oh, well, okay, that works. It actually just, like, went past there, back to its patrol point, and actually didn't notice me because of me hiding here. Apparently somehow survived its line of sight. That's... oh, fair enough. Oh, hey, it's showing the perception stuff. That's nice. But yeah, actually, I can show you here. Yeah, when it lost sight of me, apparently 30 odd seconds ago, it predicted I would, from where it last saw me, predicted I'd be there. I don't know where it last saw me for it to make that predict. Oh. Oh. Wait, a sight 2 seconds ago. What? That's... oh, that's me! That's the spectator camera. Why is it... that's peculiar. Does it actually have the... I actually don't know why it's doing that. That's really weird. It's spawning a sight thing on me like every 2 seconds. But only when I'm with it. That is really odd. I guess it's probably seeing the camera. Oh. That's... didn't know it could actually do that. Anyway, I've got sidetracked here with that. Well, yeah, so what? I've showcased it. Hunting the player, the predict sense, which wasn't the best showcase, admittedly, but you can see here in the debug it did predict where I'd be, apparently. The patrol path... oh, I've not showcased it randomly roaming, have I? I'll do that. I'm going to... as you can see here in this AI behavior, here's where all the elements are that tell it go on that patrol path. If I get rid of those now, hopefully it doesn't immediately, like, go to an area where it spots me. It's randomly roaming. It decides to randomly go over there, didn't spot me, now it's randomly going over here. And it's still... has it spotted me? I don't believe it has, it's just randomly roaming around. Yeah. I'll just showcase, of course, even when it's randomly roaming. Yep, now it's seeing me, and it's very much on me. Hopefully I can lose it, and it'll just go back to randomly roaming. If I head around here, if I get over here... oh no. It's still on me, right. Lose on a sight there, that's gonna... no, I'll go check over there, and that's gonna spot me. Hopefully I can just lose it around here. I'll just run. Yep, I lost it, and now he's randomly roaming again. Ta-da! But yeah, that's what I've done this week. I've got this guy set up all nice and smart. A few different systems. Not, as I said, not as much as I'd hoped. I had hoped to kind of knock out all 3 of my enemy variants in a week, but I've got kind of like this baseline going, which this one works. I now just need to set up the vent dude and the invisible stalker one off this system. And that'll be my enemies done. So that's going to be my primary goal for this week, is figuring out exactly how to build off this into sub-enemy variants, I guess, is what I'd call it. And hopefully I'll learn more about the way AI works in Unreal and behavior trees and all that jazz. But yeah, that's really it. Yeah, that's what I got for this week, I guess. Ta-da!